Hello, and welcome to another week of Central Reads, our Bible reading plan. This week we are reading Genesis 14 through Genesis 25. Now, this is a week of reading 2 chapters a day, and in fact, most of Genesis is like that. Actually, all of Genesis is like that. So it's a lot of reading per day, but I want to encourage you just to keep at it. And if you don't understand everything, that's okay, because no one understands anything in Genesis. Just keep reading, take your time, and read as carefully as you can. Take notice of what's happening, of what's being said. Every word matters. There are things that will be complicated, be confusing, you do not understand at all. That's okay. Feel free to ask me any questions you'd like. A lot of the stories that we'll be reading are kind of big, important foundational stories that will set patterns for the future, or that we'll return to in future readings, especially as you read later in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. Because in this week of reading, you have the cutting of the covenant with Abraham. I preached on this maybe a year or so ago. I think this is one of the most foundational and important stories in the entire Bible. That's in Genesis 15. You have Abraham's impatience with God not giving him a son through Sarah, and so you have Ishmael being born, and that's a whole, Hagar and Ishmael, that's a whole nother kind of narrative that's very strange. And then you have the beginning of circumcision, everything that goes along with that. You have Sodom and Gomorrah, which is a strange story, and it's kind of tough. And then you have Isaac finally being born, this long promised son. And then the very next chapter, you have God telling Abraham to go sacrifice Isaac, which is like a huge story, really strange, hard to understand. The point of that is that God provides a means. God provides, which is amazing. And then you have the continuation of the story up to and including Abraham's death in Genesis 25. So this is a big week of reading. I just want to encourage you to keep reading, even if you don't get it, even if things are strange. These are important foundational stories. I also want to continue to point you to the resources that the Bible Project makes available. I'm going to link the videos throughout the week that kind of touch on these themes. But if you go to thebibleproject.com and just search for any of these stories, like if you want to know about like Lot, or about Hagar and Ishmael, if you search for it, I guarantee for anything you search, especially throughout Genesis, you're going to find a number of videos, of podcasts, of articles, of blog posts. They have really fantastic resources. But like I said, please feel free to ask me questions. I would love to be able to answer some of these questions in this super important foundational week of reading. I want to encourage you, read and keep reading, because there is really nothing more important for us to grow as followers of Jesus. Well, I shouldn't say that, but one of the most important things, if not the most important, is reading the Bible. It's how we draw closer to God, get to know who God is, to know these stories, and ultimately to know the story that we live into. All right, have a good week of reading, and we will see you again soon.